Canada is recognized as the global leader in sustainable forest management. Its sustainable forest management can meet the environmental, social, and economic needs of contemporary and future generations. Every year, 650 million trees are planted in Canada, and the amount of felling is only 0.2% of the forest on this land. For every tree that has been cut down, we will replant it 3 times as many. Canada's judicial system, companies and professionals are involved in and responsible for strict forest management planning and approval procedures, professional supervision, monitoring and law enforcement. Forests and forest products play an important role in helping to mitigate climate change. Forests reduce greenhouse gas emissions by absorbing carbon dioxide, while forest products will continue to store the carbon absorbed. At the same time, the carbon storage density is usually higher in older forests, but this is only part of it. As trees age, the carbon storage platform and carbon will be released in the form of tree decay and wildfire burning. The growth slowdown is the best time to harvest mature trees, because the older the trees are, the less carbon they absorb. On the other hand, newly planted and growing forests begin to absorb carbon from the moment they are planted and continue until they reach the age of mature trees to be cut. After logging, Canada's forest management law provides for reforestation to regenerate the forest. Newly planted forests will immediately begin to absorb carbon dioxide and increase the carbon pool stored. When forest products are used in construction, they exist in the form of buildings and continue to store carbon dioxide, even after the wood fiber is recycled. Canada has the third 347 million hectares of forest area in the world, second only to Russia and Brazil. Canada's annual plantation area is 410,000 hectares, the number of seedlings planted is 540 million, and 720,000 hectares of forests are legally felled every year. Wood variety. Canadian SPF is composed of several species of spruce, pine, and fir, which are white spruce, twisted pine, and alpine fir. Because these species have very similar physical characteristics, they are collectively referred to as SPF. SPF grows in the northern temperate forest, thus forming dense and high-strength sawn timber, and its scabs are usually small and healthy knots. Growth environment. The spruce and its mixed species are distributed in the inland area of BC province, which is rare in the south and more common in the north. It usually grows in pure forests, but is also the main component of mixed forests, usually including white poplar, birch, balsam fir, larch, black spruce, bank pine, small trunk pine, subalpine fir, and Douglas fir. External characteristics. The spruce is a medium-sized tree with a fairly uniform conical crown, which can grow to 40 meters and have a diameter of 1 meter. The bark is loose, and the crack shape is gray-brown like scales. The pine needles are slightly square, sharp and hard, and the growing needles are gray-green. The age of white spruce can reach about 300 years. The color of SPF is light, from white to yellowish-brown, most of which are white. The color of heartwood and sapwood is close, and the early wood area is wider than the late wood area. The transition from early wood to late wood is gradual. It is usually straight grain with fine texture and many knots. The rotary sawnwood or veneer ring pattern is light, and there may be small interlocking knots and needle-shaped wrapping knots wrapped around each other. It contains resin, but hardly contains resin capsule. The dried SPF is the ideal choice for various residential and commercial wooden structures. It has light weight, various sizes and lengths, and is widely used in manufacturing prefabricated houses, roof trusses, etc. In the process of kiln drying, its strength and rigidity shall be improved, and its resistance to decay and insect pests shall be increased. The drying process also improves the dimensional stability, quality, and heat resistance of wood, and reduces shrinkage and warpage. In the construction market in North America, SPF is the main sawn timber species. Because of its rich resources and excellent performance, it is widely used in the structure, and also in the processing industry, such as economic solid wood furniture, pallets, etc. Canadian hemlock grows along the coast of BC province, Canada, and in the inland humid zone west of the Rocky Mountains. Usually, the height can reach 30 to 50 meters, and there are obviously pendulous new branches at the top. Tsuga is used in general construction and reprocessing industries. Its strength and rigidity make it the preferred material for furniture materials and large span components. Its exquisite texture and excellent painting performance are also one of the choices for solid wood furniture materials. Tsuga is the most abundant tree species on the coast of BC province. It is usually sold and transported together with Abies amabilis under the name of hemfir. Hemfir has an extremely wide range of uses because it provides good strength, appearance, and quality. Growth environment. Canadian hemlock is the most abundant tree species on the coast of BC province. Tsuga rarely stands independently, and usually grows mixed with Douglas fir, Picea sicca, and western red cedar. Its root system is shallow, so it is easy to be affected by wind or wildfire. The hemlock tree is tolerant of shade. External characteristics. Tsuga is usually 30 to 50 meters high and 1 to 1.5 meters in diameter. The tree age can reach about 500 years. The crown is narrow, and the newly grown part at the top is obviously drooping. Most branches extend downward, and the leaves are feathery. The bark is dark brown to reddish brown, and becomes thicker and thicker with age, with obvious cracks. The needles are almost flat, shiny, and soft. The upper part of the needle is yellow to dark green, and the lower part is white, with different length. The cones are green to reddish purple and will turn brown with age. The heartwood of hemlock is light brown with purplish red tone. The sapwood is nearly white to light brown. The sapwood is sometimes lighter than the heartwood, and the color of late wood is different from that of early wood. It is usually straight grain with fine texture and luster. The rotary cut sawnwood or veneer ring pattern is light, including small and black continuous knots, without resin, and sometimes there are purple stripes or wood grain. Canadian hemlock has a very good strength-to-weight ratio and is famous for its excellent processing performance. It is suitable for manufacturing a variety of wood products. Tall and straight Douglas fir mainly grows in the coastal and inland areas of BC Province, Canada. It can be as high as 85 meters on the west coast and 42 meters on the inland. So far, it has been found that the oldest Douglas fir is more than 1,500 years old. Douglas fir is widely used in the construction field because of its high strength, such as glued wood beams and roof trusses. Growth environment. There are two species of Douglas fir in BC Province, which grow in the coastal and inland areas. Douglas fir in the coastal areas is distributed in the southern coast and Vancouver Island, while it is rare in the northern areas. Douglas fir in the inland areas is distributed in the south of BC Province and in the north to Lake Takala near the Yukon border. External characteristics. The bark of Douglas fir is thick and deeply split into scales. The leaf is 1.5 to 3 centimeters long, the apex is blunt or slightly pointed, the upper part is dark green, the lower part is lighter, and there are two gray-green stomatal bands. The cone is oval and ovoid, about 8 centimeters long, brown and shiny. Seed scales oblique square or nearly rhombic. The bract scale is longer than the seed scale, and the middle lobe is narrow, long, and tapering, and the lobes on both sides are wide and short. The sapwood of Canada Douglas fir is light in color and narrow in width, while the heartwood varies from yellow to reddish brown. The color difference between early wood and late wood is obvious. The latter has a deeper and obvious band, the wood texture is fine to medium, and the texture is straight and fine. Generally, there are straight lines and mountain lines. Rotary sawnwood or veneer has obvious growth rings. A quarter of the sawnwood or flat-cut veneer has obvious late wood texture. If the knots are not continuous, they will be surrounded by dry white resin. Douglas fir contains resin, and there may be resin capsules. Due to the excellent strength ratio of Douglas fir sawn timber, it is one of the main timber used in heavy wood structure construction. Douglas fir sawn timber can be processed into engineering wood products, such as glued wood, which can be used as beams, columns, and roof trusses in buildings. The exposed patterns and colors of Douglas fir also endow the interior decoration with natural beauty. In China, the common Douglas fir sawn timber is mostly structural timber, which is used as structural components and heavy wood structures. Because of its high strength and good bonding ability, Douglas fir is also widely used in the manufacture of glued wood. Douglas fir also has excellent performance in the reprocessing industry. It can be used to make door frames and window frames, as well as other products, such as floors, furniture, cabinets, etc. Douglas fir wood is dried according to its end use. Flexible processing methods can meet various use scenarios. The western red cedar, commonly known as red cedar in China, can be widely used in external and internal buildings. The western red cypress accounts for about 8% of the total forest production in British Columbia. It is one of the most valuable conifers in the forest because of its unique color, texture, and durability, and also one of the most commercially valuable species in Canada. It grows in the middle and low altitude areas along the coast of BC Province and the humid inland areas in the south. It is of great spiritual significance to the Aborigines along the northwest Pacific coast. BC Province is the only province that grows red cypress in the west. The beautiful texture and dimensional stability of its wood make it an important economic forest. Growth environment. The western red cypress is shade-tolerant and grows in cool, mild, and humid areas, including the middle and low-altitude areas along the coast of BC Province and the inland humid areas near Columbia and the Rocky Mountains. It exists in the mixed forests of Douglas fir, Sitka spruce, hemlock, black poplar, and red poplar, and grows with Ingerman spruce and larch at high altitude. The roots of red cypress in the west are shallow, scattered and developed. External characteristics. The western red cypress is a medium and large tree species, which can grow to 60 meters high and 2.5 meters in diameter, and the common lifespan can reach 1,000 years. The crown is long and uniform. With age, the crown becomes irregular, usually with a forked top. The bark is gray, with many cracks, and the leaves are flat and fan-shaped, emitting a unique aroma. The sapwood of red cypress is thin and light yellow. The heartwood has various colors, ranging from light yellow, light red to dark brown, and the transition between early wood and late wood is obvious. It is usually straight grain with uniform texture, and the annual ring pattern of rotary sawnwood or veneer is not obvious. The scar is dark brown, and may have large decaying nodes, which do not contain resin, and has a distinct smell similar to cinnamon. The western red cypress has natural antiseptic function and can be used indoors and outdoors. Its color and texture complement each other with any architectural style, and it is easy to process and install. The density and strength of red cypress are not as good as that of other coastal coniferous wood, so it is rarely used in structural aspects except for the exposed beams and columns with large size. These parts usually have important requirements for dimensional stability and appearance. The knotted part of the log is usually not processed into structural grade, but into special products of exterior wall panels and balcony panels. Common grade, processing grade. Beauty and durability are the two most obvious characteristics of the Western red cypress, which makes the Western red cypress one of the most widely used wood in the global home design. The Western red cypress is suitable for occasions where the dimensional stability, natural durability, and appearance of wood are required. Architects and designers often use the Western red cypress in the outdoor landscape, such as terrace, plant trough, barrel, fence, partition screen, garden furniture, and garden wooden house. It is also popular in indoor applications, such as window sashes, ceilings and wallboards, sauna boards, decorative strips and shutters, and other wood products. Red cypress itself is a natural antiseptic material. Its dimensional stability, light and stable characteristics make it easy to process. Philodendron amurense is one of the most durable wood in the world. It is corrosion resistant and ideal for industrial use. It is widely used in shipbuilding, sauna manufacturing, fine furniture, and internal and external wood products. Philodendron amurense grows on the coast of BC province. Because of its straight texture, high strength, extremely durable and good corrosion resistance, it has high commercial value. Growth environment. Philodendron amurense grows on the coast west of the coastal mountains in BC province, grows in mixed forests, and is common in the old forests at low altitudes, especially in the central or northern coastal areas. It grows with red cypress, hemlock, and other tree species. At higher altitudes, it is also found to grow together with alpine hemlock and American fir. The age of Philodendron amurense can usually reach 1,000 years, and some can even reach 2,000 years. External characteristics. Philodendron amurense can grow to 24 meters high, with a diameter of 90 centimeters. The trunk is very wide, the bark cracks are obvious, and the crown is pointed and conical. The branches stretch and droop, with small and loose twigs, thin bark, gray-brown, dark blue-green needles, slender and pointed. The cone is round, with a diameter of 6 to 12 millimeters. They are berry-like in the first year and become lignifid at maturity. The yellow color of Philodendron amurense is obvious and uniform. The narrow band color of sapwood is very similar to that of heartwood, with a narrow growth ring, which gradually transits from early wood to late wood. It is usually straight grain with uniform texture. The rotary sawnwood or veneer ring pattern is not obvious, and the knots are light yellow. There are often rotten knots, which do not contain resin, and have obvious fragrance. Philodendron amurense is a kind of tree with high strength, stability, and can be used for a long time. It is famous for its hardness and slow growth. It has the same natural antiseptic function as red cypress. Philodendron amurense is easy to process and suitable for all kinds of wood products with high requirements for quality, appearance, natural durability, and stability. It can be polished to a smooth surface. Common grade, processing grade. The strength, stability, uniform color, and excellent surface processing properties of this would make it suitable for doors, windows, decorative panels and other joinery products of civil and commercial buildings. High-grade huang bai is often used by carpenters as temples, shrines, and sculptures. The scarcity of Philodendron amurense has increased its value. It is usually used for outdoor purposes, such as bridges, yards, terraces, patios, window sills, thresholds, etc. It is often used in environmentally sensitive and unsuitable situations for the use of chemically treated wood, such as reservoirs, railway sleepers crossing rivers, etc. Its strength, hardness, stability, durability, and superior anti-friction ability enable it to withstand the impact of traffic and load without splitting or being eroded into ridges. Quebec in eastern Canada is rich in high-quality hardwood forest products. All these hardwoods are mined from sustainably managed forests. They are environmentally friendly and renewable resources, which are beneficial to our environment and mitigate climate warming. Hardwood is a valuable forest resource because it has many unique characteristics and qualities. Many hardwood forest products companies adhere to the recognized principles of sustainable management, which enables their hardwood products to obtain the Production and Marketing Chain Certification, COC. Every piece of Canadian hardwood products has a unique natural imprint, whether it is used for floors or furniture, or as decorative materials for interior decoration. Engineering products. Dimensional lumber refers to sawn timber with a certain size modulus after cutting and drying of logs, and it is graded according to different grading methods. Specification products are mainly used for structural components of wooden building frame structures, such as wall studs, support columns, floor grids, beams, rafters and trusses. The specification materials produced in Canada are formulated and graded according to Canadian national international standards. The grading method and species of Canadian specification timber are recognized in the Code for Design of Timber Structures, GB 50005-2017, and correspond to the classification of material grade in the code. Glue laminated timber, GLT, is a kind of composite timber that is used for structural load bearing, which is designed, glued, and treated by engineering to form a large size and meets the requirements of material physical and mechanical grading in this specification. Glued wood can be processed into any size and shape, and the fire code allows it to be exposed. Glued wood is the most popular engineering wood material used by architects, which can bring infinite design inspiration to designers. Cross-laminated timber is a kind of prefabricated solid engineering wood which is made of at least 3 layers of solid wood sawn timber or structural composite materials bonded by orthogonal assembly between layers. The thickness of the laminate is generally between 15 mm and 45 mm. The advantages of CLT include good dimensional stability, good thermal insulation and fire resistance, large compressive stiffness and strength, and high degree of assembly. For this reason, more and more wood structures under construction around the world use this new type of engineering wood products. Nail laminated timber is an engineering wood material that uses steel nails to connect the wide edge nails of multiple specifications of wood to form the board surface. It is mainly used for floor and wall parts, with high economy, easy production and processing, and good fire resistance. Orientated strand board is a kind of structural board which is made of flat, narrow and long shavings which are dried, screened, applied with adhesives and additives, and hot pressed after directional paving. It has high strength because it is made of many layers of wood chips. It is usually used for building shear wall cladding, roof slab or floor slab. OSB board construction is convenient. Using OSB board can quickly cover a large area and make the structure have sufficient strength and stiffness.